Good morning, everyone, or it may be afternoon, depending on when you're watching this video. I'm Janeane Reagan, and I want to welcome you to the first of our virtual academies, thanks to Susan Martin and Leslie, who just won't let a little thing like a pandemic get in our way. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a retired clinical psychologist, and over the 35 years of my practice, I served on several different crisis response teams, including the hospital, our county, and the Red Cross. Today we're going to be talking about managing stress and worry in this time of crisis. So living here at LVT during this infectious disease crisis, we are fortunate to have an entire staff of professionals and workers who are devoted to our safety and well-being. But anxiety and worry are still normal reactions to this type of event where uncertainty rules. With most other types of disasters, we know the personal impact it's having and some idea of the expected duration for which we must endure. Disasters like hurricanes, for instance, where we have an idea where it's going, how strong it is, what it might do, when it will come, and how long it might take for it to pass. Now, according to the Institute for Disaster Mental Health, disease outbreaks don't have a clear time boundary. This leaves us in an ongoing state of feeling at risk, which is not the kind of acute stressor that our fight or flight system evolved to deal with effectively. Staying braced for a threat over an extended period of time takes a real toll on our bodies and our minds, so it is essential to recognize and address our stress in order to prevent becoming overwhelmed by it. While it's important to be effective at managing our anxiety and our worry, it is also necessary to recognize the important role of fear response in helping us to stay safe. After all, it's wired into our brain to allow us to survive. The right amount of fear motivates us to make changes in our behavior to reduce our risk. This may mean staying out of stores or canceling our weekly card games with our best buddies. Fortunately, we are better able to make these changes than those kids that are 25 and younger who are out partying on the beach as if there's nothing bad going on, certainly nothing deadly. Unfortunately, for many of them, their fight or flight center in their brains have not fully connected to their logic center up here in their frontal cortex. We, however, have had lots of time to gain a good respect for the role of fear. So how best to manage the stress that comes with the uncertainty and threat that is so unavoidable in this time? Well, first of all, recognize that feeling anxious in this situation is normal. It does not mean that you're weak, irrational, or crazy. Those who are already starting with a tendency to worry or have a higher base level of anxiety may have a harder time, but even non-worriers are likely to be more anxious than usual. Accepting the feelings is the first step in handling them. Reducing our tendency to judge ourselves for the feelings is important as well. So, name it and tame it. A complex stressful event like the one that we're experiencing right now produces many aspects of worry, and they can be different for different people. Some of the worries that are common, of course, are the worry of getting sick, the worry of spreading sickness to others, our concern for our families that may live far away, and for the jobs that they may be losing because of this, the impact on our future finances, and of course having enough of the things that we need like medication, and of course toilet paper, right? These worries tend to bounce around in our heads like a bunch of ping pong balls, sparking anxiety and dread that can feel impossible to handle. So how do we calm those ping pong balls? Try this. Sit down at your table with pen and paper and write down what the scariest parts of this crisis are for you. Write until you exhaust all possibilities of the worries that have occurred in your mind, and even if they seem a little far-fetched, write them down anyways. Now, take a look at the list and decide how likely each of these threats are to really impact you. Which ones have such a low probability that you can cross them off the list? Now look at the remainder and break those worries down into a list of categories according to what you can control, even if only partially, and what you cannot control. Take action or make a plan of action for the things that you can control. For example, you need groceries, but you know it's not a good idea for you to go to the stores because you have some health issues. Well, pretty soon they're going to be setting us up so that we can actually have delivery from Publix. So you'll want to tap into that option. When that happens, ask someone to help you sign up for Instacart if you have trouble doing it yourself. If you do not have a computer, ask a friend or family member to order for you. Also check the country store to see what they carry because they've expanded their offerings. Taking action helps reduce our anxiety. Next, recognize and accept the things that you do not have control over and focus on managing your feelings about those things. Yes, your feelings. What has helped you in the past? You have coped with bad times before. What's worked for you? Identify those coping strategies. Are you someone who does well with prayer and meditation? Or maybe you relax most while watching reruns of The Golden Girls, or a good book, or a good movie. Watch out, though, for unhealthy attempts to cope, like maybe a little more alcohol than you need. If tension builds up and you feel like you're just going to explode, it can be helpful to scream into a pillow or pound on the bed. Just let your neighbor know that you're okay. But here's another option. It's called fast writing, and it can be helpful. This involves taking a pen and paper and writing as fast as you can everything you feel about this situation. Do not be concerned with grammar, penmanship, spelling, or language. Any language that comes up is okay. Just write whatever is there. When you finish, you may want to destroy it, or you may want to keep it and look at it someday down the road and laugh. But whatever you do, don't read it over and over again. Don't get obsessed on your worries. When you're done with this, get your mind busy with something not related to the crisis. Next, limit your media coverage. Pick one reliable source, preferably one that relies on the CDC and the state reporting system. Check in the morning and evening, but avoid coverage throughout the day. Too much exposure results to an overactivation of our fight and flight response, which produces more physical stress on our bodies. Plus, the more fearful we are, the more suggestible we become, which makes us more vulnerable to rumors, fake news, and scam artists. Most of the news on TV is designed to grab and keep your attention so that you get more exposure to their advertising. They're likely to make a small bit of information, take it and blow it up into a big story at times. Don't get caught up in that. Staying connected is essential during times of isolation. Phone calls to friends, family, emails, even old-fashioned letter writing can help. Here at LVT, we can talk to neighbors and staff while maintaining distancing. Keep in mind that we are by nature pack animals, and we feel better when we have some way to connect with our pack. This is also a great time to overcome our tech phobias and learn to use things like FaceTime, Skype, and Zoom. Many churches and organizations are hosting Zoom meetings and drop-in chat times, which give you the option to see others and to have discussions just like you were there together. If you have a computer, an iPad, or a smartphone, you can do the video and audio on Zoom. If not, there's always a phone number that will allow you to participate with the audio part. The host sends out an email with a link or a phone number. Just click on the link and follow the prompts, and in you go to the meeting. Movement is an important part of health and stress management. Our bodies are designed to move. Movement helps all the organs function better, and it stimulates the feel-good brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. If you can walk, get outside and do it, even if it's with a walker. If you cannot walk, find ways to move in your chair, such as lifting your arms and legs one at a time. Using a couple of cans of soup or beans as weights for exercise can work too. Leslie now has exercise classes online for us, and she will also do individual consultations to set up a program for you. I also hear that our yoga and our Tai Chi is coming back online as well, so that's exciting. Maintaining routines can also help in managing stress in times when life is just not very normal. Keeping your bedtime and waking times can help. Get up and do your usual morning activities. Get dressed. Make a list of the things that you're going to do for the day. Eat as close to your usual dining times as you can within the food pickup schedule. Next, rest. You may find that you simply get more tired these days. Fatigue is a normal reaction to prolonged stress. While maintaining some routine, you can still give yourself permission to rest more than you might do in normal times. Just be sure that adding daytime naps is not disturbing your nighttime sleep. Be careful not to let yourself spend too much time in bed, as this can affect your overall health, causing loss of muscle tone, strength, and endurance. It can also establish habits that are hard to get rid of once this is all over. Humor. Laughter is the best medicine, particularly during difficult times. Watch funny TV. Share cute pet videos. Gosh, if you go on YouTube and put in cat video, puppy videos, there are thousands of them. It is okay to laugh at those memes that are sent out about the virus. Now, I usually can't remember jokes very well, but I do have a couple of memes that have stuck in my head. First one is, man walks into Walmart and approaches the greeter. Says, "Hey sir, can you tell me where the nuts are located?" He said, in the aisle with the toilet paper. Okay. Second one, 9 months from now there will definitely be a surge in the birth rate. And that generation, they're going to be called the coronials. Okay. So let's look at what else can happen with our anxiety and fear. Sometimes in this kind of situation, we just have this sort of unusually high level of anxiety, but it can also spike and feel more like panic.